The home inspector said, it's a great house. You're getting a great house.
Did he even talk about this?
Cosmetically, it's great.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
It's what's underneath.
You have a hazard home for you and your family. So you have a lot to worry about. I'm worried. This is going to be a very big job. Chantal and Dominic, they were looking for a house that was a healthy environment for both them and their 4 kids. They didn't have a big budget. They were looking for a house that was a turnkey operation. They did the right thing. They brought in a home inspector to take a good look. He said everything was great. Well, obviously not, because I'm here. I'm gonna ask some questions. I'm gonna get some answers. I'm gonna do a thorough inspection, and I'm gonna make it right.
So we have 4 kids at the ages of 17 to the youngest is 2 years old. So we're the 6 of us living in a 3-bedroom apartment, 1 full bathroom. So we were all sharing a shower. Yeah, so that was definitely interesting. And then just problems really just started happening. Mold was growing. There was the balcony started leaking into the living room as well. So it was disaster. We needed to move.
You know, we saw maybe 1,000,001 houses. The day we saw this house, we probably saw 15, 20 houses.
We were looking for 4 bedrooms, at least 2 bathrooms, 2 full bathrooms, so that we'd have 2 showers. A nice backyard for the kids to run around in. A dishwasher. My son requested a dishwasher because he was the dishwasher in the apartment.
As soon as we walked in, we were sold.
Just the feeling you got when you walked in. We loved it.
We said, this is it, this is home.
The home inspector that we did choose for the house was actually through our realtor. It was July. He came in and he was here probably about half an hour before we got here. He seemed to have done a thorough job. After going through the house, he said that it's a great house. You're getting a great house. Nothing at all that we would have to do big renovations.
You must be Chantal.
Yes.
I'm
Hi,
Mike. Nice to meet you.
Nice to
Dominic,
meet you.
how you doing, man?
Good to see you.
I hear you're a soccer guy.
Yes, I am.
Okay, I'm outside. Right away, I see things. So why don't we start on the outside and just take a walk around?
Okay.
Okay.
What we're beginning to see with this house is cosmetically, it's great. It's what's underneath. It's what's actually in the body of the house those are the concerning things.
Okay, so you have a carport that appears to be running to the house, and right away I can see the downspout right here, and that is a new extension. I don't think that was ever there before, because there's no evidence whatsoever of any type of a scupper drain or any drain here at all. And I think that the water kept running and hitting the wall so much and staining all this wall that someone said, oh, you should put in a downspout connection and put it into the weeper to help pick it up, because I really think it was driving against the house. And this may have been something really simple that whoever built this didn't have a level or any common sense, that's for sure, because you don't want it running towards the house.
Right.
Your roof is in really bad shape. He said in the report, 3 to 5 years lifespan left on the shingles.
At least. Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, we got 5 months maybe. Dominic and I were downstairs in the basement, and it was a really bad thunderstorm.
And Chantal just heard something.
Like somebody had running water on, and I ran upstairs, and in my son's bedroom, there was like a bubble. The drywall totally bubbled out, and it was like shooting out like a fountain. Had to grab towels and buckets and just to catch the water.
You had an awful lot of water.
You can actually push on this drywall and move it.
Well, we can see that it's come right down. It's actually staying the wood, right?
Yeah.
My worry is how long has it been wet up there? Has it been continuously? Has the insulation holding so much water that it's just mold galore growing on top of this? Has it now also put mold up along the sheathing? So the underside of the roof line, I have a lot of concerns about mold in your home at this point. Let's go downstairs. Okay, so there's no handrails going down. Did you notice that?
Yeah,
We didn't notice that until we had our first visitor that was an older gentleman and almost fell down the stairs.
You gotta have handrails.
Yeah.
Because if he had fallen down the stairs, he has the legal right to sue you, and you know your insurance is gonna have to pay out, then your insurance goes up, and we can go on and on. I'd like to see the electrical panel.
Yes.
Oh, boy. Okay, living room, kitchen on one fuse. Did he even talk about this?
In terms of the electrical issues in the house, I mean, dishwasher's going, we're trying to heat up, you know, food for the babies or what have you, and all of a sudden, half the kitchen is done.
We have issues right here. One, your house is overloaded the panel. We have an air conditioner, okay? We have a stove upstairs. We have all kinds of new pot lights and everything else. And how many do I see on this? Empty, empty. I love this.
Yeah.
Empty, empty. And we shouldn't even have that. They should have dummies in there because you just stick your finger in there and it just doesn't feel good. See, this is a bad sign. Not only do we have all this, we have an addition.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was this bad.
These are glaring things that, at least to Mike, that the inspector should have said something, and ended up saying nothing and told us we were getting this great house. Well, obviously it isn't that great.
Wow, look how hot it is in behind there. I'm showing all kinds of hot air coming in the wall here, and I'm seeing bleeding of air. So now it tells me I have to open up this area to take a look. What's going on? So there's leakage.
When the weather changed, when it did start to get colder, we felt drafts all over the place. In the kitchen, downstairs in the basement, in the addition.
You told me it's freezing cold. When you walk from here to here, that's not a good sign. That's really not a good sign. Then we look at the registers, because that's what I want every inspector to do this. And I'm talking home inspectors. Why do you have tape here?
That's where we found the asbestos. We wanted a light in the dining room, so the electrician came in and put in the light in the dining room, and we explained to him about the heat source, or the lack thereof, in the addition, which is in the living room. He lifted up our vent covers, and he found the asbestos between the ductwork and the floorboards. At that point, I went a little haywire, and I checked every single vent in the whole house, and I'm really nervous now. And it's lining every single vent in the whole house.
So the home inspector said that, in his report, he said, in terms of asbestos, it's beyond the scope of this inspection.
They won't even pull up these things, and it drives me nuts. No, pull it up, take a look.
Right.
But they don't have to. He's not qualified to look for asbestos, but some of them have knowledge about it. But he does have in the report that they don't look for asbestos, and that you should bring in a professional to take a look, because they really don't know. And I'll tell you right now, this house being in the 1960s has the possibility of asbestos in the plaster. That means before I touch it, I'll have it checked.
Right. Having young kids, moving from mold to now asbestos, and how much more damage is this doing to the health of our children?
I'm not going to break any of the walls open till I know that there's no presence of asbestos within the plaster, but it's in the ductwork, right? Now, it was a wrap around the ductwork to help keep your heat in the house, which you don't have, which means I got to check all kinds of things. So right now, I'm going to go through the house. I'm going to document it, take pictures, and look at everything else, and hope to hell I don't find anything else. But I need you, while I'm doing this, to find a place to live so I can fix your home.
Whatever you need.
Okay?
I feel like a failure as a parent to, you know, bringing them in here into an unsafe environment for them. Waking up in the morning, and the minute you know, come out from under the covers, I can almost see my breath. That's how cold it is, you know? And even in the babies' rooms, we have to, you know, bundle them up to go to sleep at night. You can barely feel the heat getting up there.
You know, these are one of these houses that just buy an illusion, man, where it looks good. I love the area, and then you start to find out what's wrong with the house. I'm worried. You know, I'm worried. This is going to be a very big job. I saw nothing in the report about the flat roof here, and the only thing about the roof was visible by binoculars, and roof is 3 to 5 years. There's all kinds of rippled shingles right here, all kinds. And no, this doesn't have 3 to 5 year lifespan, that's for sure. We're seeing all the shingles are cupping. When they start cupping, it means the shingle's old, needs to be replaced. Great sign to look for. So for the home inspector that had binoculars looking at the roof, you'd think he'd see that the roof needs to be replaced. And no venting in the soffit whatsoever. Really bad sign. Really bad sign. Okay. That's not good. That's really bad. This beam should be resting on brick. It's not resting on the brick. So, what is holding it up? I have a structural issue. I did not read about this in the report. So we're not having a structure pickup from the house. We're relying on the posts now. We noticed that the flashing that was put up around the posts, odds are it was simply because some of them were rotten out and they want to cover it up. And once again, a home inspector is not going to do this, but I am. Let's look at the structure. As we go up, there's no angle ties from the post to the beam. They're not lapped in or notched into the beam to hold it. So as I look all the way around, there are no angle brackets. So how well is it secured from the beam to the post? If it's not properly done, can this come down? The answer is yes, it can come down. It's not rotting totally. It is rotting, because that's a dry rot. It is falling apart. This is a simple 4x4 post with a 1x4 cladded on this side and on this side to make it look a little bigger. Okay, that 4x4 is just sitting on what? Actually, that's not a good sign. So it's the angle that's holding it, but there's no vertical support. I'm gonna go to the furnace room. We have the meter on the inside of the house, and it's a new meter. Normally, we want those on the outside of the house. In this case, they now got to come inside to read the meter, which I'm sure they're not too happy with. I'm going to use the IR camera. I want to see just how hot the box is. Ooh, not a good sign. The IR camera is telling me that these two fuses right here are really hot. And the other fuse is right here. So this fuse and these two fuses. Why are these fuses so hot? Just how hot are they? They are super, super hot. So it's as simple as this. I know it's hot, I know it's wrong. I'm gonna bring Frank in. Well, right now, if I scan across the wall, I'm looking for changes in temperature, right? So as I come down, I'm seeing a big yellow spot right here. I'm having escape air in the floor joists, because I don't see the lines coming up this wall and through the floor. They're probably coming up off the trunk that's in the basement, all that bulkhead across. But it's telling me there's heat escaping. And it totally makes sense to me, because if they're freezing cold upstairs, I have a breakage somewhere. But it's not blowing where it's supposed to. What does that mean? More damage. More damage. I like back splits because they give the crawl space storage, and I really like that. Oh, isn't that stupid? Look at how they did this. So there's the discharge from the dishwasher as it goes across, ties into another hose, and then goes right into the Y. By code, this must be before the trap. The problem is that methane gas can actually escape from any small hole or anything to do with this drain line. I'm not lying down on a job. This is just the way it is. You can see asbestos right at the top where the boot goes through the floor. It's clear. I can see it here clearly. So all I really have to see now is the attic above the room that was leaking like crazy, and this will help me figure out what I need to do next. This is not a lot of room. I do see a lot of moisture on the bottom that has traveled down, and that's probably because of not enough airflow. Ooh, all kinds of leakage. If the home inspector knew what he was looking for, he'd clearly see that. Oh, I've seen enough. The next day, I'm gonna wreck the place.
I think from his report, having him say it's a great house, I think put our mind a little bit more at ease.
Okay, now I'm going to tell you, with the asbestos and with the electrical, you have a hazard home for you and your family.
Absolutely.
So you have a lot to worry about.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm glad you put the tarp up on top of that roof line up there just to save it. We've got leaking issues. Yeah, it's a quaint little house. I'm glad we're all ready to put down the cloths and we can walk around. I just want to show you a couple things. It appears we have all kinds of air leakage in this area downstairs, which possibly we're getting in the basement. We'll see.
Okay.
Now, this is the one room that has posed a big problem and why we had the tarp up on the house. You can see all the,
Yeah.
we had a massive leak. We're gonna pull down as much as I think we need to. Will be about here.
Yeah.
And more than likely open up this wall right across. That way it'll show us whether or not we gotta play with the other bedroom.
Just to give us an idea of what's happening behind that leaky wall.
Yeah,
right?
bit by
Okay.
bit, we'll start opening, see what we have to do. I'm not gonna let them back into the house until it's safe for them. Before we can do any of this, we've gotta get rid of the asbestos. Pinchin found that it was only around the registers. That's it. It wasn't in the vinyl or the tiles, it wasn't in the plaster, and that's great news. I want the asbestos cleaned up before I bring my guys in to gut this place.
In the registers, found there's like a 1/4-inch paper board that contains asbestos. See this right here? About 2 inches wide, and that contains asbestos. Guys are gonna suit up with the respirators and suits on. Come in, they're gonna spray this down, wet it as much as we can. Then we're just gonna remove it. Vacuum everything up, and then spray our lockdown solution on it.
Well, guys, I just want to tackle the carport today. I want to tackle the beam at the back that's rotted out. We're going to start replacing the material there. Oh, wow. Okay. I don't think that beam's doing much anymore. Take a look at that, Yvonne. That sucker's hollow. Wow. We're replacing this or what? So what I want to do, I don't just put a beam along the back end here and support that with a jack post, okay? It's all just rot from water. It's working its way behind the flashing that's up there, so it's been just dripping in behind this whole thing for a long time, and that's why it brought it out here.
Okay, this is the new addition. I guess you know that because we have the electrical rad that's here. But I showed all kinds of bleeding on that wall right there, bleeding down the stairs with my IR camera. What did you find?
I checked the airflow. When I first came in, most of the returns had nothing going through them, which concerned me right away. I went downstairs, put the furnace filter out. I got some air movement. So filter was clogged solid. Return on the 3rd floor, nothing. There's a cavity there. It looks to be blocked somehow.
So you're thinking it feeds from this wall?
It feeds from this wall from the crawl space and then uses the floor joists to come across into the wall. It's got to be blocked or disconnected. With the return being blocked, it's choking off air through the furnace. If the furnace can't draw enough air through the return, it can't supply enough air to the rest of the house. And that's causing poor airflow and a lack of heat throughout the whole house. There should be at least one return air per floor. Here we only have one feeding the entire house. No wonder this family's cold. So I have to find the source of the blockage, open it up, and get air back to the furnace.
Mr. Gary, what'd you find?
Not good things.
Oh, I'd say a little undersized.
A lot undersized. So it's not feeding enough air to draw from upstairs down. We got a triple there, triple beam that's headed, that's run across.
Okay, so you can't cut structure out in order to make that a proper size. What can we do here? Can we move over?
I can't move over because of where the next joist is. Then we don't line up upstairs. If we can maybe cut some of the floor out, and then I can come up in 90 in.
Elbow it back in.
Yeah.
That's a great idea, buddy.
So we're gonna divert our return air from the 3rd floor down into this duct and then use the full cavity. Below the floor, we're gonna end up having to jumper box it, meaning put another piece of duct in to move it over to the next joist cavity on this side. They had a problem with air circulation here. This is one of the main reasons why. We're gonna solve all this.
Frankie.
Hey, Mike.
Now, my camera, I put the IR camera on, and we had these 2 fuses and this fuse here that was hot.
Overloaded, I'm pretty sure you would be. Wouldn't have been code. For the kitchen counter plugs, they're on regular circuits.
That's
So you
grandfathered.
don't have your splits. It's grandfathered. Recommendation at this point would be to rewire the kitchen circuits for sure, because those 3 that are getting hot, it's fridge, dishwasher, and then your counter plug. But I don't like fuses. Very, very old. We'll get rid of this AC disconnect that's here. We'll incorporate it all into one load center. It's gonna look beautiful when I'm done. Tricky thing is I've got to get that meter that's loose. So we're gonna relocate that. We're gonna place that outside, and we're gonna straighten this up for them.
Okay, thank you.
Let's cut those nails out, guys. Let's get our measurements and let's cut our first piece, okay? Nice cut, nice cut. Okay, guys, screw it in. And then we're gonna start on the posts. Oh, yeah!
What we've done here is taken out the original post, drilled a new 1-inch hole to accept our saddle for our 6x6s, which is the proper way to secure this to the footing. We've epoxied in with 2-part epoxy, which is going to harden up over the next 15-20 minutes, and we'll be able to put our post in.
Right there, buddy.
This saddle will not only lock it in better, but it also keeps the post up off the ground and out of that pocket of water that's going to sit there and slowly rot it over time.
Okay, here it comes. Final leg of the journey. So when we first started the project, this corner was high. Everything was sloping into the house. By shortening the posts on this side, we've now channeled the water from coming to the back of the house this way and to this corner, because what we're going to do is drop a trough down this post and kick it out to the side, getting the water away from the house and out into the yard. Come on up, Mr. Belanger. This is the room in question, okay? As you can see, we have a leak here, right?
Yeah.
We already know we've tarped the roof. We're keeping the water out as much as we can. What I'm looking at doing here is removing this ceiling to about here, just before the light, okay? If it keeps going, obviously we'll take down more as we go, but I think it's probably gonna stop right around there. So we do have mold on the actual drywall itself, so we're gonna lose that, okay? It's a level of mold that we can actually work in as long as you have the proper face mask, safety glasses, everything, okay? So it's safe. Take your time. I want you to plastic and seal this room off completely with you guys inside of it. Get your tools going. We'll bag it at the very end, bring it all out in one shot, so we're not dragging open bags through the house. Wow, look at this. That is not a good sign.
I can only assume you had a crap load of water come in here.
Absolutely.
I'm really gonna have to look through your home and beyond all this illusion of beautifulness, because I think it's a complete cover-up, and I think it may have been covering up a whole lot of problems.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so we've opened this.
Wow.
See, these are all your rafters.
Yep.
You see the moisture?
Yep.
Okay, and it's on every single one of them, right? You really didn't have a lot of venting in the soffits. So since it's not breathing inside, we're leaking hot air into the attic space, and it's cold in the attic space in the winter. What do we have?
Condensation.
So we're having so much condensation, I'll put my money on this, that in the deep heart of the winter, you have frost galore on all your plank boards that are there, all the rafters, and it's slowly dripping down and coming in. So we have more water signs from there than we did from the leak. The leak was just found a spot and it came in. So we need to pull out your insulation, really, because I don't like what you have in here. They have bat insulation, a little bit of blown in, so you don't have enough. We're losing heat. So we need to vent all the soffits. We're gonna put in proper air vents in the top of the roof so we create that air cycle and get that hot, moist air out and stop the heat from rising up there. No, we do have plumbing, electrical. We gotta replace your whole roof and your whole flat roof, and we're talking lots of money.
I do feel robbed. Our initial home inspection was
A joke.
It was a joke. It was comical. You know, Mike actually educated us on quite a few things. And the home inspector just, you know, kind of went through his list as quick as he possibly could and grabbed the money and ran.
Come on down, guys. So I really want to start dropping this ceiling. I want to see what the ductwork is like in this ceiling. Now, Mike, he saw a lot of heat radiating right here, so that means probably a disconnect in the ductwork. So let's try to find it. Let's start dropping this, okay? So what did I find wrong here? Almost everything. I can tell you right now, this was not done by someone in HVAC. And you look at things like this. So this is why Mike was seeing the big heat source right here, because this was just flopping open. Not the proper gauge metal and not the proper way to do it. They're getting major heat loss in this house. They slapped together a made ductwork right here. Like, this isn't even real ductwork. They basically cut a piece of duct and taped it up together. I still want to take down this blackboard right here, because we can see that this all chases in behind, and then it looks like it comes down. Okay, we have gas lines, we have ductwork. Wow, look at this. Where do you think my hand is right now? So with the amount of holes we found in this ductwork, plus the blockage that we found upstairs, no wonder this house was that cold. Any air moving through that furnace just would have been lost in all these bulkheads. Totally unacceptable.
Well, I think this roof's seen better days, eh, buddy? I can see it. This is just basically disintegrating. This roof needed to be replaced probably 5 years ago, at least. That's actually probably some of the worst shingles I've seen in a while.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty far gone. At this point, we're losing a lot of granules. It's just really exposed to a lot of leaks throughout the entire roof. So basically, this is our preparation, our underlayment materials that we install before we put shingles on. What you're looking at here, that this black or sort of charcoal gray colored material is like an ice and water membrane. It's an asphaltic material that adheres to the roof deck, and when we do nail through it, it actually seals around the nails. And we use it in perimeter areas or any really vulnerable area to snow or ice or wind-driven rains and such. The light gray or white colored paper is a waterproof underlayment, but we use this as a roof covering in the less vulnerable area, in other words, the balance of the roof. This roof, for instance, as the shingles were faulting, had it had some underlayment on the entire roof, would have bought some time. So really just cheap insurance, low-cost underlayment systems that really extend the life of the roof and the performance of the roof.
The attic beforehand was kind of a hodgepodge of bats, rocks, all in, some blown. The proper R value wasn't there, so we pulled it out. We're gonna spray foam the knee walls in here because we don't want any heat loss coming up, creating ice damming or anything like that. And now we're ready to put cellulose back in. For depth, we're gonna put in about 13 3/4, 14 inches, given our 50.
Before we started doing the panel change and service, Hydra's already disconnected the power, so we're good to go. It's barely on the wall, this old panel board. We're barely even moving it, it's popping right off. This is a fuse panel, and we're putting in breakers. It's easier for homeowners to operate. It's just on-off. The meter was on the inside. We're redoing the whole service. We're putting the meter on the outside. That's the way Hydro wants it. Good. Good, thank you.
Okay, so this is my a dishwasher drain from the kitchen that's above us. There are common mistakes that people make, but then there are also the dumbest, and this is one of those, connecting your dishwasher fixture right into your venting system where you have your bathroom connected to. So every time somebody flushes a toilet, the sewer gases have absolutely no restrictions. They'll just come right up to the dishwasher and get into the kitchen. In my opinion, this is a basic plumbing error that was missed. Okay, I've reattached the dishwasher properly. That solves all the problems related to the kitchen. It's connected properly before the trap, and everything is taken care of.
The fridge, by code, needs to be dedicated, which it isn't, so one of the wires is going to be for the fridge, the other one's going to be for the dishwasher. The counter plugs were overloaded, so we're going to rerun new wires for that as well, and that'll take care of all the issues in the kitchen.
Today we got a little bit of work here. We got to patch up these holes. We found that we're leaking in the bulkhead. We've reattached the patch to the duct. They had one here existing. What they did when they put it on was they just taped it on. They didn't put any screws to it. So we've put some screws to it, taped it up. We're putting some sealer on each duct connection. Basically, it's going to eliminate any leaks that are coming through these connections. We don't want that leaking into the bulkhead. Let's utilize it, get it up to some other rooms instead of leaking in a bulkhead. We also got some heating runs that we need to change. Just shoddy work. So we're gonna repair those, get those done. Also, when we were taking this off, we found that the return is open up in this joist cavity. They also have another one here that was open in a cavity with gas pipe. It's not a good mix. Right now we've tested, it's not leaking. But if it does leak, it's a possibility of gas getting drawn back into the return and getting drawn back to the furnace. And that's potential for an explosion. So we'll get these all closed off, sealed up so nothing's leaking.
To have Mike come into the home and make things better for us and for our family and me as a father allows me,
Peace of mind.
yeah.
Normally we tape the seams first with the mesh tape. The reason why Robbie and I are filling this first is because there's a lot of differences in the two drywall. There's a lot of plaster and concrete on this one. And we want to fill it first and then tape it. That way we get a nice even surface. There's not going to be any bubbling. Once we tape it, there's not going to be any cracking. That way we get a nice even surface in the end.
So right away we know that these windows aren't working. You can see them fogging up here. They're wood. They're starting to rot on the outside. They have no insulation around them. Like, just feel them. Yeah. I can feel the cold air, and I'm, what, 6 inches off this window. So we're going to replace the windows.
Oh, there's no nails holding this thing in. It's just falling right in. What they've done is put it in with the brick mold, but they've never properly fastened the window on the inside.
The brick mold was the only thing holding it in place.
Yeah,
Like, you take out the brick mold and the whole frame just wobbled.
Well, you would want to fasten your jamb, which is this piece right here, into your 2x6 framing or 2x4 framing. That way it won't move as much, and then when you foam it, it's not going anywhere.
The insulation is compressed too, so it loses its effectiveness when it's compressed like that. So yeah, there were a lot of gaps in the insulation, so it wasn't done very well.
looks really good. Nice windows, guys. And you've spaced it out perfectly. Lots of insulation around it.
Yeah, lots of foam.
Well, this will make it a lot warmer than it was, guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah, looks good.
Along with getting rid of the fuse panel, we had to redo the service. We had to relocate the meter here to the outside. Installed a brand new 100 amp box. As you can see, brand new pipework all the way up and over. The only problem that we have here that we can't fix is the fact that there was a split service that comes to the home next door, and from the home next door, then they picked up this home here. They don't do that anymore. Local utilities nowadays want a separate run all the way through, so they're gonna have to come in and run brand new line from the pole directly to the new overhead service. We now have power. We're loving it. We're at the tail end. We're out of here today.
With flat roofing, although it's referred to as flat roofing, and actually a lot of manufacturers refer to it as low slope roofing these days, we want to ensure that there is some slope, that the water doesn't sit on the roof for long periods of time. Even with the better materials these days, we don't ever want to promote standing water. So whenever we can, we try to make sure that there's sufficient drainage to get that water away from the vulnerable areas of the home.
I'm actually using a magnetic-based primer. It's going to go underneath the chalkboard paint. The more coats I do, the more magnetic you get. It's going to allow the kids to put on any magnets, alphabet magnets if they want, if they have any special sentimental magnets they want to put on. Just makes it a little bit more fun for them.
How's it coming, guys? Good, man. You guys have been living in this room for like 3 days.
I'd say at least 3 days.
You know what? Boys, I gotta say, both of you did a fantastic job because you had quite a significant, it wasn't a drop, but that ceiling came down, and because it's a plasterwork, it was all over the place. I have to say, very good job, boys. Nice job, guys.
Thank you.
The thing I'm looking forward to definitely is the most is a safe home. That's the reason we bought this house.
There's enough things in life we have to worry about. And you think that your house is supposed to be your safe haven from all of that, and that's what we're looking forward to.
Okay, guys, last day. We got carpet going on. I'm really excited to get these people back home, okay? Let's have a really good day. Let's get them back home ASAP. Clean, wipe, just keep going.
Welcome home.
Hello.
Dominic, Chantel.
How are you?
Hello, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
How are you?
No crisscross this time. I know you.
We'll do it right. That's why I waited, actually. Nice to see you again.
Nice
Good to see you.
Take a look. Come on, look.
Looks
You
great.
see new poles?
Goodness,
Yeah.
yes.
It's 6x6s. You fixed up all the footings, so hydraulic cement. They just nice and leveled it out, and then epoxied in the saddles that are going to hold the 6x6s bolted. Now, I love Steve Graves. Love Steve Graves. What did he do to your house? 3 roofs.
Wow.
All brand new again. That was
In
a lot of
minus
work in this snowy time,
Yeah.
freezing cold.
Freezing
These guys
cold,
were
yeah.
up there.
Amazing.
You see anything else here?
I
Windows.
see new windows.
Oh.
Yeah, I see those. Yeah. Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
When they went to pull out the other window, do you know it wasn't attached?
Oh,
It was
seriously?
literally held by the trim. So once they pulled the trim, the window almost fell out.
Wow.
So packed with a little bit of insulation, which is a problem around windows. Glass is not a great art value.
Right.
But insulation around the glass is. You ready to go inside?
Yes,
It's kind of warm in there. You want to go into the warmth?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Let's go home.
Okay.
The fact that everybody pitched in and did their part for us and for our family, it's definitely a blessing. We couldn't have asked for anything more.
Oh, look at, oh, wow.
Oh, you got a new door?
Oh, nice.
Oh. Not only did you get a new door, it's a new storm door on the outside. We pulled out your chalkboard. This was the area that my camera showed had all kinds of bleeding. So when we took it down, not only did you have a big hole in the main trunk here.
Absolutely. Every piece of ductwork in this ceiling right here had been compromised at some point. Whoever renovated this basement had made his own ductwork, basically, put it that way. So Gary had to replace all of the runs going through this area right here.
Wow. Literally feels amazing in here in regards to the heat. Before, there was no difference from outside to inside.
There's no
There's no draft. My feet are freezing here. It's amazing. Like me walking around in my underwear. Like
That's another show. Maybe we did you a favor.
Oh, it's that warm. It's very warm.
Let me show you the laundry room. What do you see on the wall there?
New panel.
New panel?
That.
Oh, that's great.
Look at that.
Frank not only fixed electrical throughout the house, you have a surge protector on the house. Yes. We're big on this. This is really important because the surge protector, what's it going to do? It's going to protect everything.
Yeah, it's not gonna
Lightning
blow.
hits the house, it protects everything. It blows that out and saves everything. And it can be a lot of money, 15, 20 grand if lightning hits the house. Just in electrical, motherboard and the furnace, right through the house. It's all the little things that make such a huge difference. And look how neat that panel is.
I know, it looks amazing.
So much better.
You got a new handrail, eh?
Yeah, no,
There wasn't a handrail
this is great. No more
you
falling
said we
down the
needed it.
stairs.
Let's go take a look at Malcolm's room.
Oh, wow.
Oh, look at this.
Okay, the wildest thing about redoing something is that it really doesn't look different, right? And so we're all about what's behind all this. We took down the ceiling, all new insulation in the attic, making sure proper ventilation from the soffit, important. So we have a simple test. Now that we have all kinds of new insulation in the attic, the next time it snows like crazy, you're gonna stand in the street, you're gonna look around at all the other houses that the snow has melted off the roofs, and you're gonna look at your roof and see the snow still on it. That means we've done our job properly in your home. Let's go to the living room.
All right.
Okay. Okay, it's not a fabulous new living room.
Yes, it is. Wow. It looks amazing in here.
You have a brand new baseboard heater, painted, new windows, which was probably also the culprit of heat loss and cool air coming in, is why this room is so cold. So that's a whole lot of people that came into your house.
Yep.
Spent a little bit of time when you weren't here in your home, and now you're back home.
Thank you for getting us
Absolutely.
back in our home.
Yeah.
You're gonna be warm, I can tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
The bottom line, it's warm. You know, you definitely felt a difference before walking from the dining room to the living room, and now there's no difference. It's actually warmer in there. You know, it's really warm.
You happy?
Yes. Oh,
More than
you have no
happy.
idea. Thank you so much. It's wonderful.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Enjoy it.
From the bottom of my heart.
It's a new beginning for that room. It's a new beginning for this house. It's a new beginning for this family. You know, now it truly is a better environment for our kids to grow up in. Mike Holmes is our angel.
I can make an observation. I'm expecting a home inspector to roll his sleeves.
I need to drop this whole ceiling. I need to drop everything in this area.
It's a blow to your ego. Like I say, it's a feeling of being cheated.
Take that wall down, take this wall down, take absolutely everything out.
It's the last house I would raise my family in.
Leave that like that. That's enough. You're gutting the basement?
It's very, I think, beyond frustrating. It's infuriating.
Sean and Carol, expecting a baby, want to buy their first home, just happily married, and he wants to move back home close to his family. They find a perfect area. Birds are in the air, it's a great day. They did the right thing. They got a home inspector, comes up with a half-decent report. They move in, they're happy, everything's wonderful. House looks good. Looks are deceiving.
We're looking for a house with enough space for us to grow into, a nice piece of property, close to school, and nice green space around.
It fit our criteria in terms of bedrooms, open concept. It had a pool in the backyard. Great. You know, you can see splashing around with Liam in the pool. The front room was a good size where it had a jutted out sort of a window piece where we could kind of see a bench seat being, and you start to kind of, you know, envision things in your mind about growing up and growing a family together in this home. The house has been totally redone and renovated, so for us, the appeal or the aesthetics of the house were phenomenal. So we just wanted to know if the bones of the house were good, the foundation and so forth were good. The home inspector had, I think, 2.5 hours in the home. The first thing he pointed out to us upon his completion was the basement. And when he walked in there, the carpet was soaking wet. He then went on about the grading at the side of the house where the leaking had occurred and that we needed to address that. He also addressed the fact that we had some mature trees on this property, that branches needed to be cleaned away from the top of the house for shingles, and that there were some spots of insulation in the attic that could use topping up. And those were sort of the 3 things that he called out to us. That other than that, he quote said, you know, you have a solid house here, take care of these few minor things and you're good to go. Within the first, 30 to 45 days, we had all 3 things that were major issues that needed to be immediately addressed. We had them addressed.
Mr. Holmes. Must be Sean.
I am indeed.
I'm Mike. Nice to meet you.
I'm Carol. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Nice smiles. I like that.
Well, we're excited.
Well, it's a bit of a crappy day. It's supposed to be really nice, but it'll be nice tomorrow. Do you mind getting your coats and coming outside with me? We'll take a look on the outside first.
Sure thing.
Okay. I'll see you in a sec.
Okay.
After we moved in, I phoned the insurance company, tried to update our house insurance. They asked us a list of questions. One question was which year was a hot water tank. Then I went down, checked the year, and insurance company said, I'm sorry, we can't fully insure your house until you replace your hot water tank because it's just too old. So that was the first time we realized, oh, the home inspection report didn't really cover everything.
We stand back a bit here. You notice the one on the very left-hand side, you see the darkness within the shingles?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so we're on our vertical wall, almost vertical. It's on an angle. This is a barn-style roof. I really like it. It makes for a lot of room inside. Those shingles are so old that it's just soaking up water like a sponge. And I'm telling you, in no time, it's going to come right into the house.
In the fall, I got up on the roof to do the Christmas lights. When I first got up there, I noticed a lot of cracking on the shingles and noticed a large patch, probably 2 by 3, maybe 4 feet.
When neighbors come by to say hi, one of our neighbors said last year they saw a raccoon actually just went into our roof. So then we figured out, oh, that hole, the big patch, probably is where the raccoon went in.
This is the freezing cold room.
Yeah,
well,
meat locker.
The room that we had earmarked for Liam's nursery was not getting any airflow. This room, I would guess this past winter, probably got into the 5 to 6 degree range. It really, what we affectionately call the meat locker.
When they do the jut out here, it's usually poorly insulated. Usually cold air drives in from the bottom all the time. And you lose heat up in the attic space because it's never insulated properly.
Right. When the furnace was on, water started leaking out the bottom of it, and it started filling up that room down there. And that became a concern. So we had called a local company to come in, have a look at this, and when he removed the plate, he'd noticed that the whole pan was rusted out. He said this has been an issue for years. Not to mention that this is an old furnace. It's about 13, 14 years old. So he goes, you're kind of at the tail end life of this furnace.
So you went through the winter first, right? After the new furnace, you went through the first winter?
Yes.
Yes.
It was freezing cold?
Yes. Went back to the home inspection report and, comments about the furnace where, noticed some rust.
I heard something about a squirrel.
Yeah, I'll let Carol take that one. It's her friend. When she was away on mat leave, she developed a relationship with Charlie the squirrel.
Liam was about 4 months old, so that was early summertime. And once again, we were just sitting in the family room, just having a mommy-baby time. Then I heard something in the chimney, and first I thought it was a bird trapped there. Then it was just getting louder and louder. I was very scared. I phoned
Oh, he came in to say hi.
Yes. Grab a baby, run upstairs, hide in the bedroom. We had a French door in the master bedroom, can look down in the family room. So we just stood there and watched, and sure enough, something came down. It was black squirrel.
I guess a squirrel may feel cornered inside of a home, so he immediately tries to get out. And so going up against the windows. He had tore up a lot of our screens in our windows, just ran amok generally in the house, ate food up the counters, knocked things over, broke a pot, like a plant pot and so forth.
And that's a big tree. There's the squirrel, goes all the way up, boom, jumps to the chimney. Hey, goes down the chimney, comes in and says, hi, guys.
I really don't know what we would do if Mike is not here, and this is just way beyond our means to handle. We can't do this by ourselves.
We've put a lot of faith into what people are telling us, believing that it's the truth, and we're finding out later on the hard way that things aren't what they appear to be.
Your air return. Do you have another one down here?
No, there's one upstairs.
Because that's in the wrong spot. Now, we want a high wall upstairs, but downstairs, we want it low. And why, I'm gonna tell you why, because we want to pull the cool air off the floor, because we're recycling that air through the furnace, right? Just pull the cool air off the floor, drive the heat back in. You have it high up there, it's not pulling the cool air, it's actually pulling the heat. And your furnace guy should have told you that. Let's just take a quick look in here.
This is one of the big misses that we had found from the home inspector. Did not have this in his report at all. We had a lady actually stay with us when Liam was born for the first month to help with Carol take care of the baby, and she used the upstairs bathroom.
The first time the lady took a shower, I was in the kitchen. I heard dripping and came to the dining room, which is right directly below the shower. It was dripping. It was raining down like waterfall.
That was first time we paid attention to this ceiling and noticed this patchwork.
Which means it leaked before.
Yes. It was an existing issue, but that wasn't pointed out in the home inspection report.
This is our laundry room.
And I'm just looking at your drain. I just made it race around the track and turn a big bend when they could have actually done a different plumbing. So it tells me it's an amateur plumber who did that. The GFI, even though it's a GFI, that's way too freaking close to water. That wire's practically hanging right in the sink. And, you know, not to mention the plumbing, no one does plumbing like that. I'm not even gonna look at anything else here. I wanna see your basement, if you don't mind, okay?
Yep.
Frank's gonna have a field day here. So, pot lights, pot lights, pot lights, pot lights, pot lights. I don't see electrical issue, he says. I don't see electrical issue. I'll bet you we've got a lot of electrical issues. So, they're making this an access to that octagon box.
There's more in the other room, though. You are
over there.
Yeah, we were trying to
No,
find
that's
out
a vent.
That's actually heat?
That's heat.
Yeah, because I want to know where heat is now. You only have one heat source, and it's over there?
Only one heat source, and it's
Does
there.
that tell you anything?
That's why explains why it's so cold down here all the time.
That's wrong. What the hell is that?
That is feeding the front of the house.
Now, I'm gonna pay attention to this big time because they've insulated all this, right?
Yeah.
But you got a ductwork running in a cold zone, what appears to be a cold zone.
Yeah.
Yes.
You got a lot of HVAC issues here. I think I'm gonna explain everything as to why that room is so frickin' cold. Okay. Improper air movement, lines tapped into, probably broken everywhere. So just how far do I gotta go? Will I drop your basement? Never mind, you know, the ceiling, the whole basement. Will I? All right, I have not walked through your house. I have seen enough. Okay. I'm gonna grab my tools, I'm gonna go through your house, and I'm gonna pull you back, and I'm gonna tell you what I find. And I just think I'm about to surprise the living hell out of both of you. Well, the first thing I wanna do is to power up my IR camera. About a half an hour ago, I cranked up the heat. And what I'm looking for is I don't have a direct sunlight coming down hot on the roof. So what I'm getting is if any heat escapes, it's gonna be yellow. So, wow. Wow, okay, that's a picture. We have a lot of heat escaping that house. Now they have added more insulation. Look at that yellow. That's massive heat loss right through the roof line. So you can even see it if you look on this side of the roof here, how yellow it is. So not only are we losing it there, but the whole room is losing it. The whole upper part of the house. If you can't hold the heat in, you're gonna be cold. I mean, it looks really good. They put up their siding, they put up the metal here. It's only a wood door. It's a hollow core door. Put in a thermal door. Stop the cold from getting in the garage, because what's above the garage? A bedroom. Bulkhead. Bulkhead. I know there's ductwork that comes up here. I know the ductwork's coming in here. I know it goes across here, and it's feeding the floor. It's feeding both rooms. This is a structural beam here. I know because I built. Here's something I see, though. Why do they have aspenite nailed to the wall across the bottom? Why? There's nothing in the report. It's minor, easy fix. You gotta plaster up these holes. You gotta pull off this wood. One, it's a fire hazard. Two, can we allow gases to come in? Yes. This is an outside wall. I'm not worried about the outside wall. I care a lot more about the ductwork, and I'll explain why again. If we have an air return that runs upstairs, it's gonna run through this path. And we have hot lines that's gonna run upstairs. In this case, we're gonna have at least two. They're gonna go up and feed the two rooms in this house on this side. One here, one here. So with a return, if any carbon monoxide from the car is just dispersing because you're just warming it up to get it out the door, it's gonna stay in here. Holes in the wall right there, it's gonna come in. You think it's not gonna get behind that wood? Of course it is. And there's another hole. There's a room directly above here. That is a huge no-no to me. I like this. You know, it's just that look that you have, that tall ceiling, and you can come out and you see the kids in the morning and the fire. To me, it's a Christmas, you know, a really good setting. Great design. It's too bad they screwed it up. See? Little things I see, right? Nice cabinet, right? I can feel the floor shaking. Why do you think that happens? That's kind of weird, man. That's really bad. Look at all the cold spots on the ceiling. Isn't that unbelievable? Look at this. I had the heat up to 80-something degrees Fahrenheit. That ceiling should be hot, not cold. Look at how hot it is, and then there's my laser. So we go from hot, that's warm, to cold. Such a variance. I thought they added insulation in the attic. You gotta be kidding me. How many times do I gotta see this? I take a picture from outside, right? I come inside, look at this ceiling. Look at this ceiling. This is the freezing room. The blue is cold. Look at it. I've never seen anything like it. There probably isn't any insulation up there at all. Look at the cold spots. And by the way, it's warm out. Imagine if it's freezing.
Mr. Holmes.
I'm upstairs, Damon.
All right, I'm coming.
You want to see something?
Sure, if I can find you. There you are.
This is what they call the meat locker.
Oh, my.
Oh, that's nothing. That's nothing. Look at this.
You can basically X-ray that whole thing. That's how cold that is.
Okay, well, here's what we gotta do. Let's bring Gary in tomorrow. I know we have issues, not with the furnace, but with all the ductwork. I don't have enough cycling of air in the house, and I have massive heat loss. I got a bad feeling we're gonna gut the garage. So, make sure we have a ton of guys. Let's have Frank in here, let's have Martin in here. What I want you to do is I want you to start by dropping the ceiling in the basement.
Oh, my God. Well, you see the stunned look on my face? I wasn't expecting it. I walked up to the house, I said, okay, I have hope for this one. It looks good. I walked in, it looks good, and we're doing that much already.
Looks are deceiving.
I see.
I spent the morning with the homeowners in the basement, spent the afternoon going through the rest of the house, and I'm not going back downstairs. There's no reason to investigate. I'm just gonna wreck the place. Simple as that.
Electrical, plumbing, HVAC issues in this whole basement, okay? So what it's looking like is we're gutting this freaking basement at some point, okay? But right now, we just want to take a look at what's in the ceiling. We got to justify taking down the rest of it. We have a lot of demo to do in this house. We had the house tested for asbestos, and luckily, there is none in the whole thing. That means we can get to work. Martin, how you doing?
How are you?
This stack, I just saw the water dripping down here. I thought it was actually coming from the clean out, but I'm feeling around this thing. This whole thing is leaking right around it.
I was expecting it. I ran a shower up on the second floor.
Yeah.
And I heard the water on the main floor behind the wall in the dining room. I need to open up the wall on the second floor behind that shower. It could be either or. This stock is so close to the bathtub. I ran it for extensive period of time.
Yeah.
Like I've been here for well over half hour,
Yeah.
and that shower's been running for a good 25 minutes.
Yeah, but think of that. It's 2 floors up. It's working its way all over the drywall, hitting a stud, coming down, hitting the ABS, running down. That's going to take a while. That's a significant leak, brother.
Yeah.
So do you think it's at the connection to the stack, or you still think it's the copper?
Honestly, I need to open up. I will most likely have to open up the drywall up on the second floor.
Why bother guessing? Let's go open it up.
What we ended up doing is we did our test and troubleshoot, and we did a couple spot checks by pulling the pot lights out through the holes, because these are retrofit pot lights.
Yeah.
And we just wanted to make sure that the proper connectors were on. So we pulled down, I think, 6 of them, and we were fine. We ended up with, you know, making
But here's
a
what
fair
I saw.
assumption.
We have how many pot lights in the house? Umpteen of them. As I look at the panel, I can tell the way the wiring's done. Somebody's upgraded the panel. I don't think they pulled a permit. And I'm going to assume that we have a whole lot of overload.
Yes, and you'd be absolutely correct. So the panel was done mid-'80s. Didn't find any permits on that. We also found circuit number 7 that had 17 items on it.
We can probably get to everything if I take down the
Oh,
ceiling.
if you take down the ceiling, oh yeah, I'm done.
Okay, good. Anything wrong with the furnace, hot water heater?
Hot water heater's vent, aluminum, and they got an opening in there.
You can't use the aluminum.
No.
Anything wrong with the furnace?
A bunch of air leakage in around that plenum connection where they tied the
Right
new
there,
furnace.
especially. Look at that. I see that clearly. One thing I do know,
Yeah,
you have that much open up, it's just going to bleed out here, and it's not going to push to the front rooms that we want it to upstairs. You're going to love this because the homeowners hired someone to put in a new hot water heater. The homeowners hired someone to put in a new furnace. Let's see, who else they hire? It doesn't matter. Whoever they hired didn't do their job right. Steve, thanks for coming. Here is a little bit of a mess. This is a bad design as far as I'm concerned. It sure looks good. You look around the street and they're really all the same. And the truth is, it looks really good from the inside. But we have problems.
We can visually see that the shingles on the upper roof are worn quite excessively. I can't even match these shingles. They don't make them anymore. So that's problem number 1. You can see that there's no way to get any intake air at the front of this house other than the small bit of soffit.
Yeah, because we're going to have that one roof line meet that angled wall here, and because there's no soffit, we can't get that air in there to get in the attic space. The good news is there's a huge attic space up there, so I'm hoping maybe we can just get away with shingling the top, but I need you to take a really close look at it.
Yeah, not a problem. Obvious signs of a patch, probably animals trying to get into the attic. Got another example of it on these roof vents. Obviously, an animal's been chewing at the plastic vent there, trying to get an alternate source into the attic. We know from the homeowners that they actually have a pet squirrel named Charlie that likes to come down the chimney. On the back side here, we can see the mesh has been pulled up by Charlie, and he's got a nice little spot to climb in and out of this chimney. Really just needs some thicker mesh installed on here, and probably down lower wrapping the actual flue. Preventing Charlie from getting access again. So we can really see premature signs of wear. The shingles are cracking, they're losing their granules due to the expansion contraction. Definitely signs of under ventilating of the roof deck. It's really lost its seal. We've got exposed fasteners that are rusting through now. But there's definitely a problem in large areas, and it's fairly consistent over the whole roof, which really tells us that it's time for a full roof replacement.
We've barely even touched this house. I've got plumbing problems, electrical problems, HVAC problems, roof problems, and I haven't even looked in the garage yet or the attic. Now, downstairs, right at this location, was the ductwork that I said, that looks like it leads into the garage.
Right.
And the insulation was all dirty. So we're gonna be opening this up. Do me a favor, start taking off this board. We're gonna take a look.
This one right here at the bolt?
Yep. Yeah, isn't that a really bad sign? See how dirty that is?
Lots of air back there?
Drywall right to the floor.
Oh my God.
Never put drywall to the floor.
Oh, wow.
But what's happening here is with all this insulation, which is, by the way, what R value is that, Damon?
Oh my God, 0 to 1?
Let's see if it even says it. R7.
Well, at one time, look at how thin that is.
Okay, so this is showing how much airflow we have coming in this area due to a hole in the floor here and due to the drywall touching the floor. I mean, look how dirty that is.
That's a lot. And if anything, that bulkhead was just channeling that carbon monoxide right into the house.
Yep. I want to take a look at this since this is really in rough shape. Well, that was easy. Now, first of all, if there's any squirrels up there, I'm coming up. You think it's funny, eh?
You want to send someone else up there first?
They got a mad squirrel in the house. They think it's a friend, and he's wrecking the place. Okay, there's the jet out of the house. Man, right in the cold attic zone. You know, the jet out for the two windows over the garage? Okay, that sucks right there. They literally cut out all the trusses. They went in and just with a saw and cut out every single truss. So, guess what's next?
I'm gutting the garage.
You are gutting the garage.
Holy crap.
So we have the cinder block wall and then brick, which is fine, but this wraps around to the front. I'm seeing all kinds of moisture. No daylight. I don't see daylight, so we don't have air coming in here. And we've had a critter in here.
Oh, yeah. That's a nest.
So no air intake.
Yep.
Which is the only thing that's going to help them keep that warm up there.
Right.
Had that had been opened up and allowing all that cool air in, this would have been the meat locker.
Right. Well, look at the mice in there. Wow.
Yeah, talk about animals living in the house.
They need a few cats, I'd say.
A few cats. Just call it a zoo. Seriously. May have to look into the structure into the bedroom upstairs.
I saw the floor up there.
You mean when you walked down there and knocked over the lamp?
And well, and the whole shelf unit is actually moving like
All
this.
you gotta do is walk in, everybody goes.
Yeah, I know. It's like jingle bells.
Not good.
Yeah.
It's not squirrels. I know that much. I need you to go into the attic.
I knew it!
I need you to crawl around. There's two things I want you to look for. Actually,
Charlie is one of them.
Charlie's one of them.
Yeah.
I want you to look at all the rafters. It's really big. I want you to go everywhere. I want you to go where no man's gone before. I want to know if there's moisture on top of the plastic. You're gonna have to reach down under the insulation and tell me if it's wet. It's at the front of the house. Okay, get your latex clothes on and everything.
My tie-back suit. This is awesome. It's really strange, but they have 3 different types of insulation. There's one, here's the second, and here's the third. It was almost like 3 different people have been here at different times. Okay, here I go. I don't see any signs of moisture. I just see a lot of really, should I say, little to no insulation. It looks like it was wet at one point here. Oh yeah. This is just compacted beyond compaction. I see tons of signs of animals. I see a nest. If I see eyes, you're gonna see a diamond-shaped hole in this roof. This is actually where I can see everything. This is right over the bedroom that Mike showed me on the infrared that was totally cold, and I'll tell you why. There is no insulation up here. It is actually vapor barrier. I can see right to the drywall. No wonder that room is an icebox. And on top of that, I found the access where the animals are getting in. Now I can see daylight right through. It's big enough for a squirrel to get through. They have an infestation problem in here for sure, and I am probably gonna have to call an Orkin at this point, and it's so bad, they've chewed right through a main wire. Now when I say chewed through, they've chewed right through.
Well, did you find Charlie?
Well, I found Charlie. I think I found his family. I think I found the access point, his front door. I think I found some chewed wires. I think I found no insulation in the first 5 bays in that room. Absolutely nothing. I can actually see drywall and vapor barrier.
What we need to do first is get Alex in to suck up all the loose fill.
Yeah.
We got to get out all the pink insulation. I'm talking the bat. Get it out.
Yeah.
I started thinking about how loose that floor was upstairs.
Yeah.
And I kept walking around, and I've noticed everything is 12-inch on center, right? I said to the guys, grab me a stud finder. They find a stud finder, and I want to know which way the floor joists run. They run this way. The bed's right here. That thing at the end of the bed is full. I went to pick it up. It's so heavy, and all that weight is in the middle of the floor. We need to know what kind of structure's in that floor, because think about it. The floor could sag, the ceiling could crack, and I'm telling you, that will lead to extreme issues. I need to drop the whole ceiling in the kitchen.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I want you to pull the laundry room out. We know we're gonna put it downstairs. I need the whole ceiling in the laundry room pulled, and I need that wall to see what they tied into for plumbing, copper pipes, et cetera. I need that wall dropped. Hello.
Hi.
So where you been all day?
Work.
At work?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good to
we've
see
been
you.
working too. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you guys smiling.
You did bring in someone that put in more insulation.
Yes.
They didn't blow in any insulation in the front, pretty well 6 to 8 feet of this bedroom in the ceiling. None, zero.
Okay.
I'm not happy at all because my IR camera, I stood out on the street, took a shot of the house, and it was just a yellow roof, and yellow means hot.
Right.
So I cranked your heat up for an hour, and it's bleeding heat all off your whole roof.
So I'm heating the whole neighborhood.
Well, you're heating Charlie in the attic, that's for sure. And he's not only coming in your chimney and down your fireplace and in your house, he's having a ball up in the attic.
Oh, no.
Chewing electrical wires, we got all kinds of chewed wires up there. Now we gotta go further because you were in desperate you were in desperate need of a new roof. Desperate need.
Oh.
We cannot match these shingles. They don't exist anymore. We brought Steve in. Okay. Come on in. Little things that start me along the way is why did we have aspenite board up across the bottom? These are things that I look at in the detail. So I pop down a couple of pieces, right? I see the holes in the wall, which leads me to pull this out. And what do I see? Not only do I have a void, that's inside your basement right there. All the insulation here was black. All black is dirt. And what it's showing is air getting into the house is transferring dirt through the insulation. But more than anything, because of that little hole, the holes over here that I see behind the wood, are pulling in carbon monoxide into your house.
Oh.
It was only a small R7 insulation that wrapped right around here. That's all it was. So all your ductwork is freezing cold. As we look over, and we see this, and we see this, and we see this, and more houses. You have an epidemic of mice in your house, especially in your attic, up in your attic. We found nothing but mice poop everywhere.
The damage that they do to the insulation, the damage that they do to wiring, and a lot of other things are, you know, it's just jaw-dropping.
We're gonna drop all of this right out. Everything's coming out. We're going to need to carry it down, pull out all the insulation, insulate that wall, insulate that wall. That's all coming down. Insulate all of this and put it all back together again. Okay.
Okay. Oh.
You know, I'm just doing sample testing. I just open things up here and there. But we want to open up things like, because I need to take a look at the ductwork. The problem is we have too much heat loss throughout your basement, and they went and drywalled it in. We're not getting enough push to upstairs. I said Frank was going to have a bit of a fit. He was rather nice about it. He walked in, he goes, we have all kinds of overloaded circuits, your pot lights, well, they're pretty good. They do have the proper clip at the bottom for the wires. He says, but we got to change the panel, and we got to rewire everything in the basement. I got Martin in here, and he's doing a water test, and all of a sudden we got water coming across the floor. Now, why do I have water coming across the floor from that location right there? Now we need to look in both your bathrooms upstairs. We're gonna have to pull some walls down there to fix the plumbing problem, put it all back together, which leads to tiling, which leads to, right?
Quite frankly, it's a money pit, you know, and it's the last thing that we thought we were getting into. We were looking for a mature house in a mature neighborhood that had been recently renovated, and that's exactly what this house presented to us. It does look, to the layman's eye, it looks phenomenal.
Here's what I did find out when I walked into your bedroom. Your floor went boom, boom, boom. Yeah. You almost knocked over your dresser just by my own weight.
Yeah. Right.
Now I know you got a structural issue from your bedroom to your kitchen. And you got one big heavy cabinet at the end of your bed, plus your bed, plus you guys. One day, your bedroom is gonna be in your kitchen. I need to drop this whole ceiling. I need to drop everything in this area, all in this area, and see what they did with the structure. So now you don't have a bathroom, you don't have a kitchen. I'm gonna be all over this house. You got one hell of a mess. Guess what next comes? You gotta go. And I hope you got a place to stay.
Anger. I'm very angry right now about all the issues we found. We knew we're having a lot of issues, but not on this scale. Oh, God.
We're gonna be leaning on Damon an awful lot on this one here. He's gonna be doing quite a bit.
Big shoulders.
I'm not gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna wreck it, and then I'm gonna make it right.
So there's so many issues in the basement already that we've decided just to gut the whole thing, and that way we're starting with a clean slate and we can lay it out however we want.
I want to do the laundry room downstairs, and I still want to give him a small bar area, and we got to make the furnace room bigger. The bar is in the corner, the furnace room is in the center, private room in the back. That's not so bad.
That isn't so bad.
Unless we can make the laundry room near the electrical panel.
Laundry room back there, bar this way.
And then you have all this area open for entertainment, right?
Or you do laundry room here.
Or you do laundry room, yeah. Either or. The same
we're breaking the floor
Which might
anyway, right?
not be so bad. We do the laundry room here. It's separate from that area, right? And this is kind of a hard layout.
It is, because the furnace is in the center of the room.
It's almost like the bar should be over there too, right? Because we're pulling this
It would be
off.
nice,
The
actually,
bar
yeah.
would be really nice to incorporate the plumbing taps in there. The door opens here, there's an open window, there's the bar. You come up and you sit at your bar and you say, all right, I'll have a crown of ginger ale.
A double, please.
The idea here is simple. Open concept, separate laundry room, separate furnace room, and we'll build a bar to complement the basement. Are you in? You in?
I'm in, man.
I'm in? Okay.
You like the layout?
Smell you right.
Now, it's gonna take most of the day just to gut the basement, but we still have all this work to do in the rest of the house. I have to open up the upstairs bathroom wall in the main bathroom. We're really trying to find out where that leak is coming from, coming down the stack and ending up in the basement. I really have to figure that out. We're also gonna open up that freezing cold second floor bedroom. So we call this room the meat locker. This is the coldest room. Now we're gonna solve a lot of those issues from the garage, right? Because there was a lot of cold air getting into the garage and following that chase that came right under here. But we also know that there's probably little to no insulation above this window. So what I want you to do is right now, I just want you to open up the bottom of this bulkhead. What we're looking to do is probably spray foam this. Okay, so they have full access here. That's good, because I want to spray. There we go. That's what I'm looking for, the lintel up there. Yeah. That would transfer a lot of cold air, buddy. Okay, so we can spray foam everything from under here. I'm going to pull Alex in just to see how he wants to treat this zone, but there's a good indication why this room was cold. Davey, I hear my name all over this house today. What's going on?
This wire here goes out to the light that's just on the other side of this wall.
What is that?
Extension cord, maybe?
You've got to be joking. Hopefully they didn't do any more work here. You know what? I can see fish eyes here. This has been a repair at some point. You're right, absolutely right, buddy. I mean, if they opened up this high, why didn't they just run new?
Well, I still have yet to figure this one out, the mystery wire. This doesn't come out in the basement, nor does it come out in this plug. So I'm not exactly sure where this one goes yet. So like I said, my suggestion to you is open this whole wall up, and I suspect we're gonna find quite the nest inside here.
Everything has changed since we got here this morning. You think you have a pretty good sense of what we're getting into, but this does happen to us a lot. I mean, you go in to fix a problem, and the more you open up, the more you find. It's already half gutted at this point. I got to open up walls here. I have to open up walls over there. We have to find an air return in this house. We have to do the whole basement. We have to do the garage. I have to do the attic. I have to do the roof. What's left? Jeez. It gets frustrating. The amount of problems in this house alone is disturbing. Davey, there's your wire.
Well, there it is.
That junction in the wall as well.
This looks like the original switch wire that would have went outside that they decided to rerun at lamp cord. Tucked up there. Look at that.
Oh my God.
It's all got to be redone. There's nothing I can save here.
All right. Is there anything else you want me to open?
Not right now.
Thank God. As if those electrical problems aren't serious enough, I still have to open up this kitchen ceiling, and I'm really hoping it doesn't get bigger from there. This is original drywall. Oh, look at the mouse poo. Oh my God. Look at that. Wow. There he is. We knew there was a pocket beam here. We didn't know where exactly it was. We found it on the other side of this countertop. I'm glad it's there. Once we took the drywall down, I had Adam go up top and start bouncing on this. It was scary. Whoa, 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 stop bouncing. I just realized what it is. What's the problem here?
Oh, 2x8.
2x8s, that's the problem. This span is too long. What's the span here? Show me this span, please, with 2x8s. The problem is we have 2x8 joists, which are 2x7 1/4.
13.3. That's huge.
That is a huge span. Not to mention the span. We have a span that is way too long to carry that much load. Oh, wow. I was really, really surprised to see the flex in that floor and how much this is moving, and it's actually freaking me out so much, I'm calling in an engineer to just go over this with me, because I want to make sure that I'm going to structure this properly. Look at that. Wow. Look it under me. Look it under me. Oh, my God.
When we moved in, it was full of optimism. We had a lot of pleasantries to call the different various spaces in this house, and then slowly the nightmare began. And I'm hoping today it stops.
They got a lot of duct that's leaking, a lot of openings in the duct, heating runs going to the upstairs. A lot of them were just disconnected. It's just a lot of sloppy, poor workmanship here. If you can see right in this opening here, this is the way they installed this back in the day. They don't take their time, they don't seal this up. Tons and tons of air leakage here. In the garage, the boys were out this morning. It wasn't insulated properly. They're losing a lot of heat, a lot of cooling. So we're gonna insulate it, and then they'll spray foam underneath. They'll be really warm in that room above the garage.
Okay, Cliff, right here. So I had Adam seal this area off because I wanted to contain them so you could see this. So let's just get into it. This was an infestation here yesterday when he peeled this off, and you can actually start to see it. Now, I don't see them. They've probably crawled back upstairs when we did the demo. So I don't really see them here, but Adam said this was covered. He said the ground was actually moving here. So, Cliff, let me tell you a little bit. Oh, there we go. Look at that.
There they are.
Look at that. Wow. Look at under me. Look at under me. Look at the floor here.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Oh, my God. This is a major infestation.
Yeah, definitely gonna have to find the main colony. This is probably what you call a satellite. Okay, it's a satellite nesting inside, but normally they're on the outside. There is a lot of moisture underneath that back step.
Yeah.
Basically, there's, you know, decaying wood under there.
Yeah.
They love decaying wood.
Can we treat under the deck? Is that an option?
You can do a spray treatment underneath that deck.
I think I'd rather do that. The deck I don't
sure.
really want to move.
No, it's a chemical treatment as a spray. So basically it will hit here to the walls.
Yeah.
Here to the soil underneath the deck as well. And I'll also spray underneath the deck.
So Cliff's plan is to spray all the outside first, stopping any ants from re-entering the house. And once we're done the demo downstairs, Cliff can then work his way into the basement and spray that as well. You have a lot of anger. Okay, easy. Now we're definitely going to be using blue wood here. It's water resistant, it's mold resistant, and most importantly, in this scenario, it's ant and termite resistant as well. Now it's great to be finally putting this house back together, but the news I'm really waiting for is how to fix this sagging ceiling in the kitchen.
It's unfortunately not too surprising. Many of these houses, they're built quick, and many of the elements may satisfy building code, but when you actually start living in them, they perform pretty poorly. So that's what we're essentially seeing here. We're seeing floor joists that seem excessively bouncy, a beam that seems like it's moving a lot. So we don't know if one of them does satisfy code, but we could find that they're really kind of magnifying each other's effect. In the basement, there's actually doesn't appear to be any support, so we need support. We just gotta take our measurements, and then
try to understand how these will behave together so that we can get a product that essentially performs well enough for the client that doesn't break the bank trying to fix it as well.
Oh, come on in, man. So, had Ethan come in from Blackwell Bowick?
Yes.
Because when we started looking at this, it was actually pretty sketchy.
It went the wrong way.
Well, look at the span. You got over a 13-foot span. Now, a 12-foot, I think it was 6, is code, but we're about almost 10 inches over it.
Was there insulation in there?
No, there was a lot of mouse poo.
No insulation?
Nope. Plus the wiring is bad, so we're changing all those lights. But this floor bounces like a freaking
Yeah,
trampoline.
I know. That's why we made that call.
Yeah. But it's even worse now that the drywall's off it. Like, I'll tell you why. When I got Adam to bounce on this floor, that beam started shaking too. So that brought us over to the point load. That point load is hanging in midair in the basement.
You're just waving in the air right there?
Waving in the air right there.
Okay, let's see the basement.
All right.
I need to see these 2 areas right here.
Okay, come on. Show you.
All right, I'm gonna assume that the point load on this side that holds the beam that crosses the floor joist and the opening in the kitchen is over this steel
You're right.
beam.
Absolutely.
I don't see any squash blocks. Second, where the hell's this side?
Okay, right here. This is where our point load is. Where's my X here?
This?
Right here. So my point load is right here.
That's not good.
No. But here's what Ethan has come up with. He wants to put a metal I-beam right through here to pick that up. Yeah, it gets better. He wants me to double up all the joists from that side of the beam all the way through. He wants me to double all that up.
I guess the job just got bigger.
I'd say.
Wow, looks are deceiving.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
We weren't buying a fixer-upper. We bought something that we thought was already done, and we paid top dollar for that.
Awesome.
Almost everything we can imagine is wrong with this house.
I didn't say build a bar. I said this will be the bar area.
It's beautiful.
We're really looking forward to what's going to be new and going forward, that we can enjoy going forward, and just the knowing that that's been done right.
Wow! Ooh!
Sherry, like, we didn't get down all the insulation. I'd like you peeling out that insulation first of all.
This isn't funny, you guys!
Sorry.
You're an idiot.
I'm sorry. Oh, I am so dead. It was worth it. It was so worth it.